Hello everybody and welcome to what might be episode 17 of my Let's Play Stellaris series. Now, I say might. There's a very good chance that this also might turn into a sort of a separate episode on its own entitled How to Fix the Economy When You've Really Messed It Up. Now, I don't know about you, I don't know how old you are, viewer, you might be old enough to have experienced this, but you might not have. You might have gone in your late teenage years to a party around at a friend's house. There might have been drinking. It might have been quite heavy drinking. You never know. You might have passed out on a sofa or perhaps on a line of kitchen table type chairs that you've just laid out because you just needed a place to lie down. You put three of them together and just... And then you come to in the morning and you think, oh, it's a really good time. And you look around and you think, we've really messed this house up. And then the guy who owns the house comes down from his bed and he looks sufficiently hungover and possibly like he's been sick a few times. And he looks around at his house and he sort of goes a bit sheepishly, my parents are going to be home in about an hour. Please stay and help me. Now, in that analogy, the parents coming home is equivalent to running out of every single thing. And the party was this fantastic liberation war that we took part in for the last 2 episodes. So, that was kind of the preamble, but you notice I've got my hands here. I'm not actually playing the game. We're still paused. If I unpause the game, we've got 3 months before we're completely out of energy. And then we won't be able to buy anything or do anything. Shortly after that, in about less than a year's time, we will run out of minerals. Food, we're okay. We've got enough food for about 4 years, so we don't have to necessarily worry about food. Meanwhile, we've got consumer goods. We've got, what are we doing? Minus 26. I don't know, there's a few years worth of consumer goods, and we're fine for alloys. But the other problem is, because during the war I was selling a lot of stuff in order to buy these things and keep ourselves afloat, we now have a situation where these aren't worth as much as they should be. Like, you should be able to get a massive amount of money for alloys. We just do a little comparison here. There is no 500 alloys. There should be. But alloys are worth like twice as much as consumer goods. They should be worth the same. They're as equally difficult to make as each other. These should be worth virtually nothing. And yeah. So basically, because I've sold so much stuff to stay afloat during the war, I have pushed all of the prices down of the thing that I need to sell to enable me to stay afloat while I try and rebuild my economy. So it's going to be difficult. And I don't think this is going to make it into the normal sort of video series, because I've got a feeling that this might be too in-depth and also possibly boring to be interesting viewing. But if you are one of the people who plays Stellaris or is a bit new to Stellaris and you find yourself unable to make it all add up, then maybe just this kind of bumper episode might be the one for you. Who knows? So anyway, I'm going to try and solve this problem. I don't claim that this is going to be very exciting. I'm probably actually not going to unpause the game for a fair while. Where are we? We're on the 17th of the month. So at the end of that, we lose a load of that. So we need to figure out why, and we need to fix it. So are there summaries that we can look at? Yes, there are summaries we can look at. Are we going to need to drill down and get more in-depth information? Yes, absolutely we are. Are there really obvious key problems that we can look at and try and fix first? Yes, there are, and we can find out what those are. So let's just start with our biggest problem, which is energy. So if we hover over the energy, it'll tell you what's going on. It's saying we are producing almost 1,000 energy per month, but we are spending an absolute ton more, nearly 1,300. So that's a problem. Now, if you look at the consume thing, I can't move my mouse and wiggle it, so you're just going to have to sort of follow it with your eyes. It's because they're under the word consumed. It's got ships, 133. So if we had less ships, that would cost us less energy. But we need the ships, because if we don't have the ships, people will invade us and then we'll be at war again. We really don't want that. So ships, not really a thing to cover. However, if we put the ships in next to a station which has a crew quarters, then they will become cheaper. The upkeep goes down. But I don't know if I've got any of those. Now, where are you? Right, you're there. So if we just click in and have a look at this starbase, that's just got anchorages and a crew quarters. Actually, that's great. So that means that whilst they are sitting there, docked ships upkeep is 25% cheaper. So if we took these ships and moved them away from this planet, they would cost us even more. So we absolutely want you to basically be around here. Okay, that will hopefully solve us some of our problems, because there's no point being in orbit around a planet. We need to be in orbit around the thing, and this thing, although that looks like it's in orbit around that planet, is actually in orbit around the sun. So we don't want to enter. What are you talking about? Actually, I don't think these cost anything anyway. Or do they? Maybe a very small amount. Enter orbit, right. So anyway, that's that lot. We've got another fleet. We've got another 2 fleets. We've got these guys. They're just going to deal with pirates, are they? Someone's going to deal with pirates. I'm sure someone was going to go and deal with pirates. Well, they're doing something irrelevant. So I tell you what, we have got a group of pirates up here, so let's go and deal with the pirates. Because it's floating around there, you're not doing really good anyway. What are you guys up to? Do you know what? You also just go there. You're not going to worry about that. By the time these guys arrive anyway, like a year will have passed, so we do want to get them somewhere where they can be in orbit, but we do also have to just clear these pirates. So we'll just deal with that. That's one very small thing. So ships, that's that. Stations and star bases. We got loads. Stations are all of these things making these. So there's a station there and it's producing 3 energy. So although it says it's costing me stuff, it's actually loads of stations there, but they're actually gaining me stuff rather than costing me stuff. You can't do anything about stations. You can't make stations cheaper anywhere in this section of the game. You can only do it through technology. So that's not going to reduce anything in the short term. That's not something we can do anything about. Star bases, 465 energy on star bases. That's massive. That's the biggest single amount of energy that we're losing. Why is that so much? Well, you come over here, you got this in red here. Starbase upkeep currently is 125% more expensive than it would normally be. That's massive. We've got 20 out of 15 star bases, so one of the first thing we definitely need to do is remove 5 star bases, and that's going to help us in some sense. So why don't we do that first? So star bases, anywhere with something like this icon, or potentially this slightly smaller icon, that has a star base, and we don't really need star bases in unusual places. So there shouldn't be any up here, which is fine. Where does that wormhole go? That wormhole is inside our territory, so we don't need a starbase up here on that end of that. That's fine. Where does this wormhole go? One's down here. But equally, we don't really need a starbase there because that's way, way back from the front line. So no bases here. We might want to put one in there, but we haven't got one at the moment. So we're going to just ignore that because we definitely don't want to build any new things. So then we come back to our 3 original systems. Now, it's probably a good idea to keep these because we have off-world trading company and trade hub. So we are increasing the amount of money that we get through having these here. And also, these are my starting systems. So if you just find those in my starting, these guys are the most developed planets. These are kind of the thing which is driving our economy forward. So we definitely don't want to take those 3 away. Moving on down. We don't have any through here. Right. Why is there a starbase there? No particularly good reason. Now, there may well have been a good reason in the past, but that seems totally pointless now. I mean, there's no planet there. It's not tactically important. It may have been in the past, but it's not tactically important now. So that one can go. Okay. Now, that hasn't changed. Does it need to tick on a day before it changes? That was a day, and that did change. Now it's at 19, and now we're only at plus 100%. What did that do over here? It hasn't seemed to have changed. Maybe that figure will only change at the end of the month, but we'll have to have a look at that in a minute. But that's 1 down. Now we need another 4. Right, this one. Is there a planet here? No. Is it tactically important? It was. I mean, it was very tactically important. Is it anymore? Not really. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's not at all. It's not even a very good starbase, so let's get rid of that. And let's tick it on a day. 18 out of 15. And now we're at plus 75%. This still hasn't changed from the 465 cost, but like I say, I think that's going to change at the end of the month. So 3 more starbases need to go. Right, this one has got a planet, I think. Yeah, because this was the planet that we lost in the original war, and then we gained it back. So here we've got Naval Logistics and Off-World Trading Company. What we could perhaps do is, if we can change that for another trade hub, it's going to cost 37 alloys, which is nothing, and that means that in 180 days time we will be earning some extra cash. So that's good. How much extra cash is that going to be? Produces 2 trade value for each trade hub. Trade hub collecting 1, and that means it's going to be 3 instead. So what we're going to be doing is, that is making 3. This will soon, in 180 days, make an initial 3. So, you know, that's a little win. We'll keep that one then. Moving on down. Okay, there is a gateway in this system. Now that is something, it's a disabled gateway. We're going to be able to fix that in the future, and when we do, we're going to be building gateways and other systems as well. So while that is potentially an important system to defend, it's probably not an important system to defend right now. However, this has got stuff built on it, but I still think maybe we don't need it, so I'm going to downgrade it. I'm going to get rid of it. Get rid. Because there's no planets here. We're not gaining any money by having that there. Let's just tick that on a day. 17 out of 15. Okay, so moving on. What have we got in this system? In this system we have a wormhole. Right. which I think I was originally defending. Have we got a planet here? Nope. Nope. So I was defending it because it had a wormhole. Arguably, you don't want to get rid of this one because this one is producing a large quantity of additional fleet cap. So that one's a maybe. Witris is a maybe. We'll come back to Witris. Withrahil, or however you say that, that does have a planet. And they are... It's a multi-population planet with loads of different species and half-species in there, so that's really cool. We would like to have that making as much money as we can. So what we got here? So yeah, we need one of these. A bit later we'll need one of those, but I'm going to save... I've got 6,300. It's a good amount. And I am making money in terms of alloys in a good way, but I still want to be a bit careful with it. So if I've just queued up something which is going to take 360 days to be built, there's no point spending that other alloys now. We can come back to that in a minute. So we'll keep that one, and that one's about to start making more energy, which is going to help this. Moving over here, what do we have here? I think there's a planet here, and yes, there is, and this is a big starbase with lots of weapons on it. Now, once again, this does not have a trading company, so we'll get one of those, because that's cheap. And I think what we might also do is do that. Swap that for a trade hub, because trade hub's only 37 alloys. We can afford 37 alloys. We can afford to do that a load of times. So yeah, that's going to help in a year's time. Yeah, it's going to be a couple of years, but that's alright, because we will sell some stuff in a minute to carry on forward. Where are we? Still not showing any difference in the amount of starbase cost, which is fine, and I think that's going to change when the month changes. So we want to keep that, and we want to keep that, and I think we want to keep that. And then we get into what we got here, unexplored natural wormhole. Well, now you see, now that's a bit of an issue, because without knowing where it goes, I don't particularly want to destroy this. However, that is a whole load of hangar bays. What? I mean, that's insane. So it might be really important, but it might be not important at all, and that layout is crazy. So we'll come back to that and think about that in a minute. Lots of anchorages, naval logistics, crew quarters. We don't need a crew quarters there. Have we got a planet there? No. This is a kind of a... This really... Oops. No. This needs to be a forward defence post, because this is where, this is on a border. So having a crew quarters might be a good idea if we had ships here, but we don't. We should potentially put some weapons on this, just because otherwise it's not really very well defended. So let's give it some guns, because then if they've got anti-missile weapons, at least it won't matter. Not doing very well about getting rid of these. That one definitely needs to keep. This one might be get rid of. This one has a planet which is largely populated by people who don't like us. So, this planet's got some issues. It's not very big for a start. People don't like me. Why don't they like me? It's got bad approval rating. He's got a governor. Surely people must like him. Anyway, we're getting slightly off topic. I think we probably need to... It doesn't have any trade. It's got some anchorages and a crew quarters again, but no trade. Does that crew quarters cost me money? Yeah, it cost me a thing. Get rid. We don't need that there. We might come back to that. We might get rid of that one. We definitely don't need this one because this one's just sitting there doing nothing. That's their primary place where they build things. It's a really nice base, but it's in the wrong place. I don't need it, and I 16. I mean, we might build one back when we put another planet in, but we don't need that. This one is a border, so we do definitely need a border. But what's it got on it? Anchorages and a crew quarters, which we've just discussed we don't need. So let's get rid of that. We do need to get rid of one more. It's got to be that one, isn't it? I think we built that one there when we didn't know what was going to happen, and that was the edge of our space. But now clearly the edge of our space is here. So that doesn't really make any sense to have that there, because these guys are never going to go to war with us because they're pacifists. What we got here? An L gate. Probably a good idea to leave that one there. And I think we're also down at 15 now. There you go. 15 out of 15. So when we reach the end of the month in 8 days' time, that 465 should change. That's the plan. Now, do I run the game on for 8 days, see if that actually happens, or do we carry on fixing things and then see where we stand? Because the carry on fixing things is an awkward caper. What's the next thing on our list? Buildings is the most expensive thing after that, but you don't really want to... You can't really destroy buildings. Have we got any spare leaders that we could sack? No. They are all employed. They are all doing important work. Let's just grab the science ships, make sure they're busy. That's insane. Why would you do that? We kind of really want someone to go out here, don't we? Okay. We'll send him there, and we'll send... Because we can't... Actually, that's a silly thing to do. Sorry. Not thinking straight. If we just survey that system there, and then if we send this guy to Dossel... You can... No! You go there. Right. They can't really help us with money. These guys are basically costing us money every time they build anything, so we probably want to have a little bit of a breather from building new stuff. I mean, it would be good to fill all this places in because there's a lot of worlds here that we can grab, and we don't really want these guys grabbing them. So I'll tell you what, let's go and just sit there for a minute. Where was the other one? What are you doing up there, mate? Well, you can't get there because of the pirates. You can't get... Can we get past that? Can we go and mine the living metal? Apparently not. Okay. In that case, we will just wait until we've dealt with these pirates, and then we'll go and build another thing. Okay, moving on then. Let's have a look at planets. Actually, let's just see if we can trade these things up. Strange. I still haven't quite worked this out. it should be easy. Right click and have that upgrade starbase to set trade route to that location. Trade routes need to have some link to your trade capital. Trade. There you go. And you can do some trade. You might as well trade to there. Not really sure what I'm doing with this trade mechanic, but it seems to be making a red thing disappear whenever I do it, so red things vanishing are, in my opinion, a blessing. Apparently you can't select that one because it's red, don't know why. Can't select that one because it's red as well, but there you go. Put it there then. No? There we go. And what about you? Where are you? You're right the way down there. Trade route. How about if we have you trading into there? Well, we seem to have got rid of some red. Getting rid of red is a good thing. Okay, so shipyards, we seem to have 3. So let's build an off-world trading company. Let's get rid of one of these in favour of another trade hub, because that's only going to cost 37. Let's get rid of... Do we have any people around this place? The computer really loves building crew quarters. I don't know why. I mean, they are really handy, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a reason for having them. But why you would have them everywhere, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. We can't build an off-world trading company, but we will be able to. Hang on. Oh, sorry, we've already queued it up. That's why I'm being an idiot. That's fine. And this little thing here is not upgraded at all, but that's fine. That can stay. It can stay as it is. Right, so we don't need to worry about star bases. We've closed that window and stopped worrying about it. We've already dealt with fleets. We know where they're going. Some of them are going to go deal with pirates. Some of them are going to sit next to somewhere with crew quarters. Armies, likewise, they are off to go and have a sit near a place where there'll be a crew quarters, so they'll become cheaper. Civilian ships, we have set them all in motion, so that's fine. I'm just kind of organising things a little bit. So, right, now we just need to worry about planets. And we really do kind of need to worry about planets. So let's just have a look. Let's start at the top. So this planet, losing a lot of minerals, losing a lot of food, has deficit of volatile motes. It is neutral on the green gases. However, it is producing 29 energy and all of these other goodly things that you can see here. Now, what we'd normally expect for your capital system is that eventually it will become really heavy producing of science and influence, but not a lot of else, and probably quite a lot of these things, but you won't have very many of the beginning base things. So that kind of makes sense. This minus 123 makes sense. Need more power, but everyone is working. We don't have anyone unemployed. We do only have the housing for one more person, which is a slight problem, but there's nothing I can do about that now because I don't have the money to buy that kind of thing. The only thing I need to buy right now is ways to make more electricity or energy and some ways to make more minerals and a bit of extra food. We're not going to worry about that so much because we'll level that out naturally as things go on. This is a bit concerning because it can't really grow anymore, and that's a problem. This is why this episode is not probably going to make it into the full-time season, because I just get this feeling that you're not going to want to sit and look at me being confused. I mean, I've already been confused for half an hour. And I haven't actually... Well, we've progressed 5 days? And all we've done so far is bring this number back into reality. So, if we built... What we really want to do is have instant, or as near to instant fixes as we possibly can. So where we've got unemployed people, there's only one and he's a specialist, so that's not going to help me. I mean, this planet is terrible. Can we clear any of these things? No. We can clear a volcano, but it would cost 670 energy, which is basically 2 of the 3 months that we had. So clearing stuff is not really an option. What we really need to do is just find a few planets where there's some space and some spare people. Unemployed workers. You see, that would be ideal, but once again, we've got these problems. Dangerous wildlife. Hold on. I'm not sure which of these are the energy tiles. Two out of these 5 are energy tiles, and I don't know which one it is. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to spend money doing that. I will build a couple of energy districts, which are going to cost... What do they cost? 240 of these bad boys, so we're going to have to buy some more of those. Do we have any buildings? Ah, power grids. He already has a power grid. Okay. Anyone with a lot of electricity workers needs to have a power grid. Now there are a couple of other ways that we can make things better. Synthetic crystal plant, that type of building, that is taking away 10 minerals and turning them into 2 of those crystals. So if we got rid of that building, we would have 2 less rare crystals, and we're currently running at +3, but we would have 10 more. You know, we'd only be losing 98 instead of what we are losing. So if we demolish that building, arguably everything will be slightly better. But is that the way to go? I'm not sure. That's got an energy grid, good. You see, these things can all be upgraded, but if we upgrade them, they all become more expensive. Not a great deal more expensive, but they do become more expensive. We also have a broken energy grid here. Why can't we repair that? Too few pops on the planet to support this building. This has a stability of 0. This has devastation of 44%. We must have had a very long fight on this war, on this planet. There's nothing we can do about this planet until it fixes itself, because look, it should have... interesting. How long does devastation take to disappear? Does it happen naturally, or do I have to do something about it? These are good questions. So far I've only built a couple of energy districts and a couple of buildings to make more energy. So that's not really helping us very much. Now, here we have high gravity, which makes everything cost more. Fantastic. We've got low amenities, so I mean, you could say arguably that's the thing to do, but that's 450 minerals. So I think maybe build one of these. We don't have any spare jobs though. I'll build one anyway. I think I'm going to build one as well. Build one there. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't need a silo right now. Silo is the last thing I need. Because what's the point in having more space for things if you're not actually producing any things? I'm also going to replace... Have we run out of... Yeah, we've run out of that. Okay. So now it's time to hit the market for the first time. And sell some of our 6,000 of these. Okay, and then we will go and buy some of these, which are really expensive. Ouch. Okay, 10 months, 6 months. That's horribly expensive. I mean, if you did a monthly trade, if we sold some of these, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like doing the monthly things because, I mean, yeah, it helps, but it'd be better to balance the books without having to sell off all the good stuff in order to not run out of the free stuff. So now, basically, we need to get this number down. I'm going to now run it the 8 days until the end of the month. See what happens. And hope it doesn't go horribly, horribly wrong. What we got going on here? I'm just looking at all the planets where I haven't built something and seeing if there's anything I can do. What does that do? Costs 3 energy, gives you 1 gas refiner job, turns minerals into gas. Great. We could do with some more plants. Food processing facility plus 15% food. Right, where's the planet which is producing the highest amount of food? Whoops, that's the policies button. I want the planets and sectors button. Ideally I wanted it in planets, but let's not worry about that. We can just do this. Minus 26. 0. Actually, I can... Hold on. Oh, stop pressing the wrong button. Right. Planets and sectors. Okay, so that sector has plus 30 food. And that's all on one planet. Which is this planet. Which has the food processing facility already. Fine. Is there any other thing that we can do to make more food? We can build a hydroponics farm and that will give you plus 2 food. Farmers produce food. Jobs based production 12. Farmer jobs plus 2. So that would be an extra 2 farmers. So, I mean, it makes sense to have one of these on the same planet where you've already got the food processing, just because extra farmers... Yeah, and let's take the generator district off, because we don't have any spare workers anyway, and we don't want any farmers to go off and join the generating people. We will keep a robot assembly plant though, that's definitely something we need. Okay. You're 1% devastated. You are not a happy place. All forms of pop growth reduced by 50. Resources from jobs reduced by 50. Soldiers +2. Soldiers on the planet each provide 5 stability. See, at the moment we are losing 16% jobs, 16% trade value, and it's all bad. If we put that on, that might, although it will cut the growth and it will reduce the jobs, will it make everyone happier, giving everything a bit of a buff? Gonna try it. Gonna look at the stability in my other worlds as well. You see, yeah, I'm gonna do a bit of, I don't like doing this. I would rather that they just realised that we'd rescued them and that they're gonna have a lovely time soon. But for the minute, these new worlds with low stability, this is a nightmare, are going to need to be looked after with guns. Why have we ceased robots? We want robots. Robots are handy. We need more people working. Right, let's have a little look. Quick wander around. Look at stability. Why are you unstable? Oh, it's because you're also recently conquered. Okay, let's give you some martial loving. How about you guys? 43%. This is a new planet. Got a world of possibilities here. We're building one of those. That's a good thing. Okay, that'll be fine. Right. I'm going to run it to the end of the month to see what happens to my numbers. Bonk. Right. Okay. That changed a few things around. So the star bases, which were at 415, are now at 165. So clearly the biggest immediate impact that I have had is doing that. Having this at 20 out of 15 was literally killing me. Now 40 with a surplus, with a pot of 1,800, that's going to last us quite a long time. That is that's really, really good news, and I'm kind of happy about that. And I think that once we've allowed some of these other buildings to be built, that's going to basically save our bacon. That should now also make them slightly cheaper because they should now be in orbit as well. Ships down to 139. Good. Good. We do need to wait for kind of half a year for most of those buildings to be built. Oh, hello. Right, we're making money. Two thumbs fresh. So as long as we're making a little bit of money here, we can buy the rest of these things using our surplus from this. we do need to fix these things as quickly as we possibly can, and we will. But I think at 45 minutes, and having played for literally 12 days of time, I'm going to call the end of this episode. I will put it in the normal runnings of things, but I will signpost it with a don't watch this episode unless you want to know about fixing your economy in detail, because effectively no gameplay has actually really taken place. We've just tried to, you know, fix stuff. So sorry that this has not been an exciting situation. Nothing's really changed. From a role-playing point of view, I think it's been fairly realistic, because basically we had a big street party at the end of winning a war, and then the morning after everyone woke up and just went, go and grab a broom everyone, our empire is in a bit of a mess. But I think it's going to be okay. I think we fixed it. We've certainly fixed the energy requirement, which is fine. We have set a load of other stuff building, which is going to be cool. I mean, quite a lot of that was generator districts as well, but that's alright. What I'm going to do next go is have a look. What's our next biggest problem? It's going to be minerals. I need to just have a quick look-see and see if there's anywhere where we can gain some minerals, or if we can't gain any minerals, we can find out where we're spending them. It doesn't really say, does it? It just says consumed by job. So that's a bit unfortunate. It would be handy if we had a way of saying which jobs were consuming the minerals, and we could go and have a look into that. I will figure that out, and I will figure it out. In fact, I'm going to figure it out quickly now, just before I go, because I mean, I think I'm already taking a prize for being this is the most boring episode of anything ever recorded, unless you desperately need to know how to fix an economy. So why not make that 5 or 10 minutes longer and just have a wander around and build some extra of these. Except we're running out of people space on that planet, so let's... Oh, here you go. I suppose you've got to spend money to make money, haven't you? They've... Okay, 3 jobs available. 3 clerk jobs available. Interesting. Probably not an ideal place. It's definitely not an ideal place. It would be nice. That's nice. Wow, I've really maxed out the making of stuff. Not sure if I've done that in a sensible way. There you go. Build that there. Is there any other thing which develops additional minerals? I've got to say I don't think there is, because I think it's kind of a... Everything uses minerals to turn into other stuff. I don't think you get an extra bonus to minerals other than through science. So, yeah, well, we'll build a mining district there, and hopefully that will be enough help. It would be great to be able to have enough to afford to do that, but I can't. Let's have a look down here. This is also a brand new system, so that's cool. We'll just leave that one alone. That has no mineral spaces. Awesome. This world's been totally shredded. There's no point doing anything there. Oh no, it hasn't. That's this world, isn't it? Yes, that's the world that's been shredded. This world's actually not too bad. Hold on. Yeah, it's definitely a good reason to do that. Yep, okay. You the shredded world, we won't do anything with you. You're very shredded as well. You're not shredded anymore. But we can't do anything until we know what's going on there. Wait. Because we don't know. Don't know which one of these is going to give us electricity, and I don't want to spend a lot of energy that we don't yet have, although we are in a surplus of energy. There's a slight argument for saying just try getting rid of that and see if it's one of the lucky ones. But should I? This planet here is definitely saying you should... This is a terrible planet. I mean, I've just noticed this is a tiny, tiny planet. It's kind of pathetically small. Ten-sized. Really, really small. What we actually need to do here... kind of need to dismantle most of these things and turn this into just a world covered in districts for people to live in so that the population goes up, and build some research centres. I will come back and do that at some point in the future. Not now. Not now. Okay. I've thought for too much time, too hard about this game in the last 50 minutes. So now I am officially going to stop. Thank you very much for sitting here with me and watching me trying to repair my economy. I have succeeded in repairing a quarter of the economy so far, and have given myself enough breathing room after I buy a few more of these bad boys to just sit for a bit. And yeah, we're basically going to we're not going to crash out. We're going to be fine. We're going to kind of nosedive, and then just before we hit the ground, we're going to pull out. We're not going to run out of food. We're going to keep buying extra minerals until we've got that sussed out. And we will be okay for the next time these guys decide to go to war with us, which will not be for a long time. What we got? Yeah. We've only just finished the war. I've played for an hour basically, but in the reality of the time in passing in this game, it's only actually been about 14 days. So this is the longest 14 days you'll ever spend in Stellaris. So yeah, we've got 10 years before we have to worry about them again. It's slightly concerning that we're nearly on the border with these guys over here, but they're currently in a war. That was a lovely noise. With these lovely people who we're going to form a commercial pact with, because who doesn't want more money? Cost us a bit of influence and we'll gain money. Excellent. Wait, thank you. And research agreement? Yes, please. Thank you. And that was these guys, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. What about your buddies up here? Because we're friendly with these guys as well. Oh, well, we already have one. Awesome. Do any of you guys want to live with me? Oh, that's so close. Right, give it a couple of months and they will say yes to that, and then we can have starfish living with us. And you are already migrating over to us, so that's fantastic. I think we've still got most agreements with these guys. Commercial pact, research, migration. Yep. So, loosely speaking, in terms of the way the galaxy has ended up, we have us, the free scruffy peoples, we're lovely. The galactic Utkavongo Assembly, they're also lovely. We're all getting on nicely. The Ophithi Coalition, they're our mates, we're getting alright. And the Urzo Commerce League. So you've got 4 big, nice players. And then you've got 2 really horrible people who are so horrible they won't even talk to each other, which is ideal. You've got down here, these are, if I remember rightly, the ruthless capitalists. Are they the mega church? They're ruthless capitalists. I don't know whether they were mega church. Maybe these ones were the mega church. No, they're hegemonic imperialists. They're bad news. These guys are bad news-ish because nobody likes a machine intelligence. I don't really know why, but nobody does. They are a collective, so they only have one brain between the lot of them, so that's why nobody trusts them. So yeah, we've got 2 clear enemies, 4 of us nice guys, 2 sort of maybe enemies, and then these poor mega church people. Was it a mega church? I'm sure it used to say mega church, but now it says trade league. Maybe they've had a change of heart, or maybe I'm getting confused with a different group. Anyway, they're pretty inferior. They're not a big deal. We're not going to worry about it. In fact, these guys are a bit of a concern because they might one day turn into marauding Khan-like Mongolian type of people and kill all of my buddies. Hopefully that won't happen. But if it is going to happen, it'll happen in about 30 years' time. Which, if I play at this rate, will be in about 90 episodes' time. But I'm not going to. It'll really be in about 3 episodes' time. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I've rambled on for far too long. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found some of this content helpful. And if you were not likely to find it helpful, I hope you were wise enough to skip it and move straight on to the next episode, because that's probably going to be a lot more fun. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.